Welcome to ATA Level 1 Yang Style Tai Chi Chuan. So why are we learning Tai Chi Chuan? So we need to have a sense of balance in our training. Taekwondo is a very hard external style of martial arts. So we need to include education in the softer internal style of martial arts, like Yang Style Tai Chi, to become a more balanced martial artist. So some of the concepts within Tai Chi Chuan are softness, the idea of softness overcoming hardness. So if you think water is soft and malleable, yet it can pierce mountains over time. If you think about a rock in a stream, the water flows around the rock, but over time that water is going to wear away that rock to nothing. So we think of hardness and softness, yin and yang, softness overcoming the hardness. We also think about a harmonious mind and body. That harmonious mind and body will win over a chaotic mind and body. So we're trying to calm the mind as we do our Tai Chi Chuan practice. So let's start off with just some warm-ups. We'll start with some head circles. So when we do our head circles, we're going to come across the front, and when we get to our shoulder, we're going to come straight across the side. We're not going to go way back. Right? We don't need to hear all that crunching and stuff in the back of our neck. We just want to go straight across and then down. Across the front. All right, and switch direction. Alright, and then let's do our hips. Do some hip circles. Get those hips warmed up. Always in martial arts, we're using a lot of hip, right? So we want to make sure that those joints are nice and warmed up. And the other direction. Alright, let's put our hands on our knees and just do some knee bends. Alright, and then let's put our weight on one foot and we'll do like a 90 degrees, so you're kind of in like almost a back stance. This hand's going to be straight out, palm down. This hand's going to be at your side, and we just want to. So we're doing that. This arm is not moving, not bending at all. It's all in the shoulders. So we're turning, our weight's coming forward, and then our weight's coming back. Weight's coming forward, weight's coming back. You can also turn them sideways if you wanted to. Coming forward, weight's coming back. Coming forward, weight's coming back. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So, weight forward, weight back, weight forward, weight back, weight forward, weight back. Make sure that that knee is staying pointing the same direction as the toes. We don't want to be doing this. That's going to hurt your knees over time. So make sure when we shift our weight forward that our leg is still staying pointed that direction. All right. All right, that's good warm up. So the first thing we're going to start off with is our Tai Chi Walking. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you start off with kind of a duck stance. So both feet are at 45-degree angles out from the center, heels together. I'm going to have you weight your right foot. I'm going to have you step out with your left foot. Okay? Well, all the weight is still on that right foot and then I have you put your hands on your hips just so you can kind of feel how that's going. Right now, your belly button should be pointed basically the same way as your toes on that back foot, on that weighted foot. We're going to shift our weight forward. When we do that, we will shift our hips so that our belly button is facing the same way as our feet. our weighted foot, because now all the weight's on this foot, right? So to take our next step, we're gonna shift our weight back, so that at the same time our hips turn. We're going to turn that front foot out at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna shift that weight back over it, so now our belly button is kind of pointed in the same direction as those feet again. We're going to step up and step out with that heel. And again, so then that foot should be pointed straight forward. Foot down and weight the front foot. Notice when I weight that front foot, my hips are turning again. Okay, let's take another step. So turn that front foot, 45-degree angle. Weight back to the front. Foot comes up and out and down. Okay. All right, now we do that facing the other direction so we can kind of see how that looks again. So if we've got our duck footed stance, I'm going to weight my right foot. I'm going to step out the left on the heel, and I'm going to shift my weight forward. Okay. I'm going to shift my weight back. I'm going to turn that front foot, shift my weight back forward, step up, out with the heel, and I'm going to shift my weight back forward. Okay, one more time, shift the weight to the back, turn the front foot, 45-degree angle, shift the weight back forward, step up, out with the heel, and shift our weight towards that front foot. Okay. So, a couple concepts there. Like I said, always your belly button, which is your center of gravity, is about 2 fingers below your belly button and just a little bit in. That should always be pointed the same direction as the weighted foot, and that's how we're also going to get a little hip movement in there, right? In general, when we're doing Tai Chi Chuan, we're only going to be weighting 1 foot at a time. You know, this is why it's good for balance, because your weight is always going down, straight down into the earth, right? When I'm here, my weight is here. I don't want to take a step because I'll be off balance. Like if I'm leaning, I'm going to be off balance and I'm going to be basically falling when I'm walking, right? You want to be controlled walking. So my weight is in that foot, that's rooted into the ground. I'm going to step out and then I'm going to shift my weight so that I know that I've got that balance there. I'm going to move that foot again, so I'm going to shift my weight back so that I can move that foot. I'm going to put my weight back over it. Okay, now my weight's all here. I'm not falling, right? I'm just picking it up and stepping out. Now, what we can do, if you're having a little trouble with that, that's a little challenging at first. What you can do is you can do what we call a cat stance. So get that weight over that front foot so that you're going to take a step. You can do what's called a cat stance. So cat stance is basically like our rear stance in Taekwondo. So you get your heel off, foot's down, right? So you tap it down here so you can get your back, make sure that you nice and steady, and then step out. Okay, so we can do it that way as well. That's a little easier for you. Otherwise, when you're taking that step, right? So I'm at my 45 degrees. I'm in my bow stance. Weight comes back. I'm going to turn that foot. Okay, my weight's coming up. That leg is just going to come basically straight up, right? You want to pick that knee up so that you can step out. The other thing we're thinking about is this bow stance is a scuttle bow stance. It needs to be a little bit narrower than what we do in Taekwondo. Taekwondo, we tend to have a pretty wide bow stance, but you're going to find that your hips and knees are not going to work quite the same when you're doing your Tai Chi Walking. You need to narrow it just a little bit. The other thing is, remember that back foot in Taekwondo, we want it straight, right? Everything's on rails. But when we're doing Tai Chi, that foot is at more of a 45-degree angle. So that's Tai Chi Chuan walking. So the other thing I want to go over today is what we call the introductory movement. So the introductory movement, we're going to start off with that duck stance again. Our feet are kind of pointed out at 45-degree angles, right? We're going to weight that right foot. We're going to step out with the left foot. We're going to shift our weight over to that left foot so that our weight is off this one before we move it, and we're going to turn that foot. So now both feet are pointed forward, and we're going to settle back in the middle. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to play with our balance. So we're going to kind of shift forward, shift back, feel how that is rooted in your feet, where your balance is in your feet. Okay? In Tai Chi Chuan, we talk about the 3 nails. So the 3 nails would be basically the base of the big toe, the pinky, and the heel. So those should all feel like they're rooted into the earth. So that's kind of why we start off playing with our balance a little bit. So you notice when I'm doing that, I'm just kind of shifting to see how that feels on my feet. Okay, so we're here. The other thing is our posture. We want to tuck our pelvis in a little bit so that our back is nice and straight. Our spine should be completely straight. We want to feel like we've got a string coming out of our head, pulling us nice and straight up and down. Our arms are relaxed. We should feel like we can put maybe like a ping pong ball under our armpit. That should be about the gap that we've got there. Okay, and then we sit here and we do this is called Wu Chi. So this is basically you're staring into the void. You know, it's kind of like the nothingness before the Big Bang. If you think about it like that, this is where we're clearing our mind and getting ready for our practice. Okay, so we stare into the void, and then what will happen is our hands will float up. They're going to lead with the wrist, so they're going to float up about shoulder height, and then they're going to come back down, and you're going to bend your knees a little bit when you do that. Now this is a shoulder stroke. So we're moving, basically, we're not moving our elbows, we're not moving anything, we're pretty much just moving from our shoulder. So we're floating up and back down. Okay, so let's start that whole sequence again. So we'll start off with our duck foot stance. We'll weight our right leg. We'll step out with our left. Shift our weight to our left leg, turn that right foot in. So they're basically both pointing straight forward, and settle in the middle. Play with your balance a little bit. Stare into the void. And as our hands float up, we'll take a deep breath in. And as they sink down, we'll breathe out. Okay? And that's the introductory movement. Okay? So now I'm going to take us into that, but I'm going to take us doing some Tai Chi walking, and then next lesson, we'll add to that. So I'm going to move off to the left here because I'm going to start off over here, and I'm going to turn my back to you because this doesn't work very good for mirroring. So we're here, we've got our duck stance. Right? Alright, and we will weight that right foot, step out with that left, weight the left, turn the right so that they're both facing forward, play with our balance a little bit, stare off into the void, and hands float up while we're inhaling, and exhale as they come down. Bend the knees a little bit. Okay? Now just for a day, I'm going to have you put your hands on your hips. We are going to weight our left foot and turn our right foot at a 45-degree angle. And then we can weight our right foot. We will pick up the left, go into that cat stance, step out with the left, and shift forward. So we're going to do our Tai Chi walking. Okay, and back. Turn that front foot, 45-degree angle. Okay, weight back over the front foot. We can step up, step out with our heel. Notice that my belly button is pointed the same way as my knee and my foot until I put that foot down and shift my weight forward. Okay. Shift your weight back. Turn that foot. Shift your weight forward. Step up and out. Shift your weight forward. Shift your weight back. Turn that foot. Shift your weight forward. Step out the heel. And shift your weight forward. And turn your hips. Okay? So practice that today or this week. And we will start on some more moves next week.